Hey, everybody, and joining us once again, our return guest, librettist, lyricist extraordinaire, the Algonquin Kid, the one and only Michael Colby is joining us live and direct from the Garden State from New Jersey. How are you, Michael? We were just having a great conversation, updating each other on all the busyness. I just got literally in the door from a television shoot up in Boston. You're busy. How you doing, my friend? Welcome back to the show.
As Merman once blasted, gee, but it's good to be here.
Good to be anywhere, right?
It's good to be busy and surrounded with work and doing what you like. And I thank the lucky stars above me for that.
Yes, yes. Tell us about some of the amazing things that you've been up to, my friends, since we chatted last, and refresh the memory of our viewers earlier about some of the incredible things that you are really known for, which is a lot. You are a prolific creator.
Well, I'm somewhat best known as the Algonquin Kid because from 1946 through 1987, my grandparents, Ben and Mary Bodney, owned the Algonquin Hotel, and I was a real life equivalent to Eloise of the Plaza. My middle name is even Michael Elihu, and I wrote a book on it. And I've also written a lot of musicals. Unfortunately, had a great hotel to write it at and be inspired and rehearse. And with all those credits, people are most impressed because I was in one scene opposite Rachel Brosnahan in the marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So it's all relative. I had been really active. I had two of my dream projects I worked on in the fall. I did a reading, a very well-received reading of a musical called Mrs. McThing, which I wrote with the great Mary Chase, who won the Pulitzer Prize for Harvey. And she was one of the two people who stayed at the Algonquin who liked my work enough to ask me to collaborate with her. And the other thing I did was my holiday musical, Ludlow Ladd. One of the first things I did was a musical version of Jean Anouilh's Time Remembered at a theater called the Lyric Theater of New York, when it was still cheap to develop musicals. And they were so impressed, they asked me, do you have a Christmas musical? And I said, well, I happen to be a Jewish boy who loves Christmas. So I wrote the first draft in the perfect amount of time, 12 days. And we just
Wow.
did a very, very successful presentation. And the show has been done quite a
Hmm.
lot. Yeah.
12 days, huh? On the first day of
Well,
Christmas, my true love said to me.
believe me, I was playing all that music in the background to be inspired.
That's incredible. So that's really exciting, huh? That's amazing. Wow. And you've been working on a lot of other projects too. Tell us about some of the other amazing things that you have up your sleeve, Michael. You're always working on something.
Well, this is like a bookend episode because next on the first, you're also going to be interviewing Maureen Taylor, the cabaret performer who's become something of a muse for me. Um, in the past, there's been talk of doing evenings of my songs in cabaret, like Merle Louise, who created more great roles in Broadway shows than just about anyone else. She was the original Beggar Woman. She was the original Grandma in Into the Woods and La Cage aux Folles. Well, Merle wanted to do it, but she never did. And then Maureen came along and she said, "Would you let me do some of your songs in an evening of cabaret?" And I said, "Well, I let you. Try and stop me."
Yes.
It was so well received. She got a MAC nomination for it, and the album is coming out we're doing a big launch of the album on April 23rd at Don't Tell Mamas, and Maureen's even thinking of doing a sequel in the fall. So more
Wow.
Michael Colby.
Isn't that exciting, huh? Is that, I mean, when we chatted last, we were pretty much in the thick of, the situation going on. So you've made it through. During the thick of it, were you writing and creating and kept the wheels turning so that way there, as things lighten up as they fortunately are doing now, you're able to come out of the gate with all these projects and productions? Were you inspired during the craziness of the last 2 years?
I was inspired to keep my sanity by
Yes.
my writing has always been an outlet and my haven when I'm going through difficult times, because the creativity is what just is my ever ready battery. It just keeps me going. And so I was dusting off old shows and writing a little bit of new stuff and planning on bucket list projects like doing Ludlow Ladd and Mrs. McThing, and then I've also been working on a show that's optioned for Broadway. It's called Dangerous. It's being produced by Neil Rubenstein.
And he's
And
amazing too. Yeah, we got to get him on this show. We've been trying and to coordinate our schedules, but we got to get him on too. And
and
I'm glad to see that that is still going forward. I was at the it was like a preview that happened at 54 Below, Fine Sense 54
I didn't
Below.
tell you then, I don't think.
Yes, I was just like right by the stage. I think the table was right by the stage and maybe where the kitchen goes. And it was really,
Really?
it was fantastic to see the preview. Yeah. And I'm glad to see everything's moving forward.
Well, it's directed and choreographed by two-time Tony nominee Dennis Jones.
Yes.
The composer, co-writer, book writer is John C. Introcaso. And my theme tonight is how theater is, you can plan, you can have the talent, you can have the perseverance, but more than anything, thank you. It's just a series of flukes. And
Hmm.
like Ruth Gordon used to say, the only way to have a career in theater is never face the facts. So
Right.
my fluke was that a Tony Award-winning orchestrator named Larry Hochman saw an early version of Dangerous and said, and told John Introcaso, you need to bring in a lyricist to do some more work. And out of that, I was doing a, um, an evening an evening performance of my stage version of the Algonquin Kid, and Neil Rubenstein was there, and I introduced him to John Introcaso, and again, a series of flukes. And so that led to the optioning, and All's Well is it's slated to be done around the end of October in a workshop at the Bay Street Theater, and looking forward to doing that. And I also want to thank Jason Hewitt, who's been instrumental in moving this show along. He's a co-producer, and we're very excited about that. And just juggling these things. I have, I can't even tell some of the things 'cause I don't want to jinx them. When we did Ludlow Ladd, it was so well received at the Urban Stages Theater that they want me to do another show next winter, and so I'm putting that together and
Mm.
uh, just this and that. And by day, I'm still substitute teaching for some bread and butter, and I'm back doing more episodes of Mrs. Maisel next week.
Oh, that's exciting. Tell us about the teaching. I don't think, everybody knows about the teaching part of your day to day. Tell us about that because that's so beautiful, paying it forward and in mentoring and inspiring others, Michael.
I've always been devoted to young people. Um, Most of my musicals are written as family shows that can excite the whole family, and I just find it very gratifying. I cover three different places in towns in New Jersey, Metuchen, Edison, and New Brunswick. But the New Brunswick kids have been completely cut off for the last year. I and
Yeah.
just when I tell them what I do, and tell them some of the hurdles I went through. It inspires them and gives them courage, and just brings them back to want to learning, and that means the world to me. I mean, some of my shows have done that too. Tada, the children's theater that won the Dramatists Guild Award.
Yeah.
Nina Trevins, I've been I've been a part of the founding of that organization, and they asked me to write a musical about adoption. My collaborator on that, Ned Paul Ginsberg, has an adopted child, and it's been done in many regional productions, and in Norfolk, where we did the expanded version. It was done during Adoption Month, and we had an audience of adopted children and adoptive parents, and in front of me, I mean Roanoke, not Norfolk. Charlotte Sweet was done in Norfolk. They chose me was in Roanoke. And anyway, so there was a family, and I saw that the teenage girl was very uncomfortable coming in, and she saw the show, and when it was all over with, her mother came up to me and she said, "You know, my daughter has never felt good about being adopted. She's always felt strange about it." And when the show was over, she came up to me and said how lucky she was and how much she loved us, and how grateful she was for her life. And when those things happen, it just makes everything so worthwhile.
When you hear that, how does that make you feel? You must be.
It makes me feel like I was put on earth to do something.
Well, you were, and you are. And I mean, because you've touched so many lives through your art and through your work, Michael. When you look at it all, the body of it, it's extraordinary, and it continues to be in such an inspiring and empowering way, in a beautiful way. And where does that inspiration come from for you early on? I know we breezed on it a little bit the first time you were here, but for those joining us for the first time, tell us about those early influences in your life in New York growing up that really spurred you on.
I was brought up in a very neurotic home. My father was a Brooklyn Jew, and my mother was a Southern Jew. So my life was like a combination of Tennessee Williams and Arthur Miller. And I brought this. Everyone thinks that because I was surrounded by the.
So is that knishes with grits?
Southern fried chicken soup.
Yeah.
And I make my grandmother's matzo ball soup not.
Oh, I love matzo ball soup. I'm a soup person 24/7, 365. I'm not one of those fair weather soup people where they only have it in the winter when it's cold. I'll have it all year long.
I even wrote a song about my family, Shalom Y'all. But everyone thinks that it's the influence of the Algonquin. And again, it's luck and a fluke, because I have here my pre-kindergarten report card, my first report card, before I knew anything about the theater. And it says, "Michael is an endearing child with a good knowledge of stories. He enjoys dramatic play and loves to dress up." And then it goes on about that. So my grandfather had a choice of buying the Pittsburgh Pirates or the Algonquin Hotel. And it was my good luck he picked the Algonquin Hotel.
Wow. Isn't that incredible?
Yes, I grew up in the thick of it.
The Pittsburgh Pirates or the Algonquin Hotel. Wow. Oh my God.
Actually, Bing Crosby outbid my grandfather. So I told Catherine Crosby the story one day.
Did you?
About how her husband, Bing Crosby, outbid my grandfather, and that's why I'm a part of the Algonquin Hotel and no Pittsburgh Pirates.
See, and you could have been on the show tonight with a baseball cap on that said Pirates or Pittsburgh.
God really looked in my direction when
You'd be a pathetic pirate. Is that what you're saying? That is no, you made the right choice. You absolutely made the right choice, my friend. I'm glad all is going so well, and things are really, really happy for you. And it's been such a real crazy time and an unusual time for all of us. And the arts and music and laughter and drama. We've needed all of this desperately, haven't we?
Yeah. When I did the 2 readings in the fall, we had to be very careful about COVID, but the actors were so thrilled and s- so revved up to be doing theater again live for an audience. And it's all coming back, and it's all much appreciated. And we just got to continue playing it safe so that we can go the whole distance to what it was.
What has changed? What are some things you've seen change as far as the process and as far as how it's actually happening, how it's reopening and the steps being taken and how people are, it's obviously everybody says things have changed. There's been a lot in our world that has changed greatly.
Right.
And some of it's actually been really good that it's changed. How have you seen changes and what are some of the
Well,
procedures and ways that you're making it happen?
it's been touch and go with shows
Yeah.
opening, then closing again, then opening
Yeah.
again. Like,
Yes.
should I be at the theater tonight or should not? Um,
Right.
um, I, I mean, there's nothing like live theater. And even when we did our presentations, we didn't have as large a crowd.
Hmm.
I think it's easier to get into shows, except for the multi-million-dollar ticket where you have to, you have to sell off the farm so you can see the show.
Yes, exactly.
But I think there's an incredible spirit, and everyone is well. There was such camaraderie in the shows I've done, and there is such gratitude to be in the theater again, to be seeing it. I mean,
Yeah.
I hope I jumped the gun. I got all my vaccinations and then came up with COVID anyway because I was in a theater, I think. But
Mm.
because I had the vaccinations, I had no symptoms. It was over in 4 days. Voila! I can
And
go
then
back and not worry about it anymore.
yes, right, exactly. Which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm glad that everything is going so well. We have a couple of wonderful things here that we want to share. We've got some fabulous photos and videos and music and all kinds of fantastic things. But I'd love to get some music going. This one is a beautiful video called "Civility." Tell us about this one, Michael.
Well, when there was a lot of dissent and a lot of anger in the country, I went to Tada, the theater, the children's theater, and wrote with Stephen Silverstein a song about how I wished things were and how they should be in America. And the kids at Tada did me proud singing this.
What was that process like working with them and, when they were singing and performing it, were they feeling the message as well, the kids?
Well, this was before COVID.
Yeah.
But absolutely, because as I said, in New Brunswick and in certain in minority neighborhoods where there's a greater fear, the message is so important that of what America was and should be, and what its its philosophy in the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, how that's gotten lost and needs to be returned.
All right. We have that fabulous video here for everybody to enjoy. Again, some beautiful music here as Michael Colby joins us once again here on the Jim Master Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Before we do that, we welcome everybody. It's so good to have everybody here. Thanks for all the great comments. If you'd like to comment live in chat, be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. That gives you the exclusive opportunity to chat amongst yourselves. We see the comments as well, and our guest does as well. So that's a gift for our subscribers. And again, if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to the YouTube channel, just click that red button right there. That gets you in as a JMS Lovity, and make sure you click the notification bell so you never miss any of our episodes of our series. And if you're enjoying this episode, give it a like. Yeah, a thumbs up like on the YouTube channel. Leave a comment there for us as well. So to spread a little civility, we talk about that a lot here on the show: empathy, respect, civility, kindness. And here it is through the words and song of the incredible Michael Colby. Enjoy.
Lift up others when they're down. Help those sinking not to drown. So be brave, be smart, and do your part with, at heart, civility. Frown when leaders rant and rage. See the sun through each dark age. Then be kind and true. Don't cave, not you. Triumph through civility. What our country was founded for. Home of freedom, not hated war. Better times we can still restore, so that everyone in our great land can be secure and free and equal.
What are we to believe in if not what we've learned through teachers, preachers, and family?
The Bible says be kind and compassionate to one another.
Lady Liberty echoes, give me your tired or poor. History reveals past mistakes and signals. Never forget.
Where are those beliefs today?
Life is not all black and white. Every color shines a light, and the blend is such a brilliant sight, full of possibility. Rock the wall, unlock the cage, write our future page by page. Don't let past dreams die, we'll learn them by ability. Humility, civility.
Very beautiful, my friend. Very, very beautiful. And so nice to see, and hear, because that's a message that we really need to hear again and again and again, huh?
That's another way I've been using the pandemic. I've been creating these poetic video songs with a message. You showed one with Lainie Katz.
Yes, when she was a guest a couple of weeks ago. Yes.
I've written several of them, one about gun violence and one about never forgetting. And you can find them all on YouTube under Michael Colby.
That's it. We actually have another one too that we want to share. This is you doing your thing, my friend. Tell us about this. This is a really, really terrific one that we want to share. Better Late Than Never, MC, Master of Ceremonies.
Can I tell you about it before you put it on?
Oh, yeah. Yes, preface. We love a good preface.
A lot of it's said in there. But I was asked by Dale Wasserman, who wrote Man of La Mancha, and the stage version of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, with Jack Rabant, with whom I wrote Mrs. McThing, to dust off an old musical version of Tom Sawyer. And I use this song as at a critical point in my life, and you'll hear the story now.
All right. Now is right. You'll hear it now, and you'll hear it live or semi-live here on the show. Enjoy. Better Late Than Never.
My song is short, so here's my searching after story. When I was a 34-year-old bachelor a long while ago, I decided, well, I had this vision, like I was starring in a production of Company. And there was a birthday cake, and there were friends in the dark, and people were singing, Michael, baby, Michael, booby, Michael. And so the next day I joined a dating service. And there was someone named Andrea Lotion, who was your typical lawyer pianist. And she was about to give up on this dating service, and this was her last date. And we hit it off immediately. And she was worried about never finding someone as well. And then one day, under the pretext that I wanted to rehearse a song that I will be singing with music by Jack Urbant, I got on my knee, pulled out a LP of Wagner's The Ring, and proposed, saying, together we'll pick out a real ring. And anyway, next week we celebrate our 33rd anniversary. And here's the song. Better late than never, finding your real love. Better waiting years, locating one you're certain of. Better late than never, finding love that's true. Wiser when you're patient, then your lucky day comes through. When you have to wait for the things in store, you appreciate them even more. Growing gray, why ever be alone and blue? Better late than never, finding love that's true. If you just pay mind, never losing sight, somehow you can find the one who's right. Then you find forever comfort known by few. Better late than never, finding love that's true. Will you marry me, Andrea?
Michael Colby, thank you. That was so sweet.
We're very excited about more music we have here. We want to share. Now, this one is Even If I'm Not Your Type. This is Darius, right? He was a guest too.
Let me tell you the story behind this. On the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, there's a character named Shy Baldwin. And a few weeks ago on the episode, he's gay, but he has a staged wedding. And the voice of this character, Shy Baldwin, is Darius DeHaas. And this song, which is really about a cyclops, but it still has a lyric that would have been very pertinent had it been sung at that wedding.
I like that. Andrea Colby smiling. She's here. Nikki says life can bring such joy. Absolutely. Christine says sweet and lovely song. Love it. Oh, how sweet. Smiles coming in from Linda and all the lovelies here that are coming in with their comments. Thanks, gang. Good to see everybody here. Here is more music. This is Even If I'm Not Your Type.
Though we come from different places, and you think we're not well suited, Does it matter what the case is or the way we're constituted? My sight's set on you, and that's no tripe. Even if I'm not your type, you are someone with a good heart that can break, yet you ignore it. It's a poor, misunderstood heart with nobody caring for it. Let me volunteer, the time is right. Even if I'm not your type. Some think that I'm bizarre, some mock your name. Most people don't comprehend us, but different as we are, we're much the same. Together we'd be tremendous. So I may not look romantic, but I feel the sparks between us, and my vision is gigantic. It could really work, I mean us, with a future that you won't regret. Even if I'm not your type as yet, well, I see things one way and you probe deep. We differ on very few points, and in the everyday beliefs we keep, we couldn't have closer viewpoints. I'm a very caring creature, and you give me quite a tingle. For like my most famous feature, it's not easy being single. You're the apple of my eye, I vow. Don't feel on the spot, I love you a lot. Even if I'm not your type till
You can really hold a note, huh?
That's the voice of Shy Baldwin, Darius Sahas, and it was from a 50th birthday celebration presented by Amos Musical Theater, and the composer is Gerald J. Marco, who's another illustration of the flukes of how things happen in the theater. Jerry, who wrote Charlotte Sweet and Jailfire or Bus, which that is from, and Ludlow Ladd with me, was looking for a collaborator. So what did he do? He picked up the yellow pages, and under the A's was an agent named Charles Abramson, who was a friend of my family. So rather than methodically, Jerry and I got together because of the yellow pages. And that led to Ludlow Ladd and to Charlotte Sweet, and to us both getting Drama Desk nominations for Charlotte Sweet. And Ludlow Ladd's been done many times. It's been done with Kristin Chenoweth. It was done with Maureen Taylor recently. It came this close to being presented on Broadway. There was a dramaturg named Robert Pisola who first recommended it to Lincoln Center and then to Circle in the Square. And I got word to just wait. They were going to pair it with Thornton Wilder's The Long Christmas Dinner as the evening. Between me and the other perennial Christmas show, the Robert Klein Show. And he got in, but it's been done on WBAI radio, and it's a treat, and it led to my writing a sequel called Charlotte Sweet. And another fluke, a girl who came in to audition for Ludlow Ladd had the highest voice I'd ever heard. Her name was Mara Beckerman, and I wrote Charlotte Sweet for her, and she got a dramatist nomination for Charlotte Sweet. I
You're
was-
known for incredible musicals: Charlotte Sweet, Tales of Tinseltown, North Atlantic, Slay It with Music, Mrs. McThing, They Chose Me, Ludlow Lad. Tell us about some of those incredible productions and what it was like creating them for the enjoyment of all of us, Mike.
well, after my experience with Mrs. McThing, which opened at, well, first of all, Charlotte Sweet was optioned for Broadway. It got incredible reviews. It looked like it was going to be the hit of the off-Broadway season, except another show opened with the same public relations person that we had, a show called Little Shop of Horrors. And and at first the two shows were being reviewed together. And then after the showcases, Little Shop got picked up by the Schuberts and Cameron McIntosh, and the press agent was told not to publicize Charlotte Sweet. And who knows? I mean, Little Shop of Horrors was more contemporary than we were. We were a tongue-in-cheek operetta. But the word around town was that Charlotte Sweet was one of the shows to see. And we just didn't have much of a budget, and we closed as our grosses were going up.
Mm.
But it was a wonderful experience for everyone. And the director, a great director who's now passed away, named Edward Stone, he got his break because out of the blue, I called his in-law, Murray Horowitz, because Murray Horowitz is one of the co-creators of one of my favorite shows, Ain't Misbehavin'. And he couldn't direct it, but he recommended Ed. And so Ed got Charlotte Sweet, and we sat around, we talked about years from now, which of the two musicals do you think people will be talking about, Little Shop or Charlotte? And I just found out a few months ago that one of the last shows that Ed directed was Little Shop of Horrors, and
Wow.
he didn't tell me. But when Charlotte Sweet opened, I was the main story in Showbill, which was the equivalent of Playbill.
Mm-hmm.
We got an incredible review in the New York Times. Among our fans were Leonard Cohen and Al Hirschfeld, who told everyone to go and see it. And I mean, then I went to visit Al Hirschfeld, who did a character. He actually did two caricatures. He was the great, the great man capturing Broadway, illustrator capturing Broadway. And it was, I can't tell you that the feeling of his looking at me with pride as I was looking at him with pride and seeing this, and just feel like now anything, any suffering, any disappointments, they mean nothing because I have Hirschfeld's blessing in this wonderful illustration.
Isn't
And
this incredible? I mean,
he captured everybody.
it was such fine detail and great care and such a beautiful, beautiful way. What a gift, huh? A gift bestowed upon you.
Yes, I mean, when one of the first shows I did, I wrote with my brother a musical version of The Wrong Box, and I auditioned with Linda Pearl, who went on to be a television star.
Oh, she was a guest recently. Yeah.
She's a wonderful person.
She's amazing.
And another person that I auditioned it with was Nina Hirschfeld.
Oh,
And when I
yeah.
called up Al Hirschfeld to see if he would do the caricature, his wife got on, Dolly, and I said, "Hi, I'm Michael Colby, and you know my grandparents from the Algonquin." And she said, "Yeah." And I used to audition with Nina, and she said, "Yeah." And I wrote Charlotte Sweet, and she said, "You wrote Charlotte Sweet? You wrote Charlotte Sweet? I'll get on the phone." Now, I probably told that story one too many times, but it was still a wonderful experience.
Oh, it's bears repeating, and it's new still to people that, hear it for that very first time. We have some really fantastic photos we want to show, and maybe you can take us through them here. Look at this.
This is North Atlantic. I was asked to write a musical in the style spoof of Valentine of Rodgers and Hammerstein. I am a protege of the Larry Hart family, and I know a lot about Rodgers and Hammerstein. And it wasn't done at the theater that promised to do it, so I had to take it on myself. I had incredible training. I was a founding member of the first organization to develop original musicals, the Stuart Osterhout Musical Theater Lab, and the first equivalent to Encores, the New Amsterdam Theater Company, which did classic shows in concert, and I wrote the continuity, and I had all the know-how to co-produce with Gene Frankel this North Atlantic, and it was extremely well received. And in the picture, you'll see my friend Deborah Lowther and Susan Bigelow. It was her first show in New York. She went on in this Rodgers and Hammerstein spoof to be the person who first sang, "I'm going to wash that gray right out of my hair." And she played Nellie Forbish. First she was supposed to do it with Richard Kiley, and then she did it at Lincoln Center. And then Lori Tan Chin played my soubrette, and she went on to play Bloody Mary opposite Glenn Close.
Ah, wow.
TV version. So I really knew how to pick the talents. And she's now one of the leads on Nora from Queens.
Oh, my God.
And this is Ludlow Ladd. The Christmas show they asked me to write. And that's Spring Fairbanks, the one who said, A Life in the Theater is a series of flukes. And Charles Michael Wright. And when Charlotte Sweet was done, it was a sequel, and the character was played by one of my favorite performers of all time, the late Christopher Seppi. And I just have had my theater mishpacha just mean the world to me. And when Andrea and I had our engagement party, which was February 14th, Ludlow Ladd was born on Christmas. Charlotte Sweet was born on Valentine's Day. So Andrea and I had our engagement party, and all my families, a group from North Atlantic, a group from Mrs. McThing, a group from Tales of Tinseltown, they all showed up for that event. And
incredible.
In like Liz Calloway.
Yes, exactly. And of course, Charlotte Sweet.
Yes.
That is so near and dear to your heart.
Marvin's artwork. My producer wanted to come up with a logo, and no one was happy with what he came up with. So I contacted Frederick Marvin and told him what to do, and we had this logo the next weekend.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
It's absolutely perfect. And of course, we showed that. It bears taking a look at again, the Hirschfeld, which is extraordinary. And how about this too? This is special. Joe Bell.
That's the article on me.
That's the one you're talking about. Yeah.
Little Shop of Horrors. Both Menken, both the writers, Ashman and Menken, were covering that. I was the headliner in this article and felt like I was famous for about 2 minutes. But it didn't matter. Oh, yeah.
This is something too. Leonard Cohen. Tell us about this.
Leonard Cohen was a fan of Charlotte.
1982.
What? I mean, not everyone liked it. Not everyone likes my work, but it's the ones who do that make it all worthwhile. And I mean, I've had people like Mary Chase and Dale Wasserman and Leonard Cohen, all champions of my work. And it just means the world to me. I mean, so,
oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And this is Mrs. McThing, Jeannie Lehman and Bobby Cavanaugh. And she's a woman who wants the perfect child, and suddenly the perfect child appears and she can't stand him. She gets her wish. It's a very complicated fantasy, and it's about what it means to be a mother and wishing for perfection. And we did the reading recently, and we did it with Donna English and Craig Berko. And I cried at the end of Act 1, and I cried at the end of Act 2. Because
yeah.
It's just very touching.
Very touching and very emotional, very moving. Yeah. Animal Crackers.
Right. I did a show with director and actor Charlie Repoli, and we slate with music, and we got along so well that he did a production at Goodspeed and then Paper Mill of the Marx Brothers classic um, uh, Animal Crackers. And now I can claim I collaborated with Kaufman, with George S. Kaufman and Maury Riskin, um, and um, and and the composers, the original composers of Animal Crackers, Ruby and Kalmar, I and a composer named Alvin Kanaka wrote an extra song, and nobody knew the difference. It was written for Animal Crackers, and then it was done at Paper Mill, and that's where Kristin Chenoweth got her equity card. And I was so impressed with her that I asked her to do a version of Ludlow Ladd with me. And
You've had a chance to work with, some real heavyweights. As you mentioned, Kristen Chenoweth, but also Savion Glover and so many people, huh? Linda Lavin, of course.
Yes, I wrote narration for Linda Lavin.
Tony Randall, Natalie Douglas, Michael Feinstein, Dina Merrill, Sharon McNight, who we lost last year, the beautiful Jane Powell. So many.
Yeah.
Cicely Tyson.
And she's one of my favorite actresses, and I wrote narration for her. And when we did the audition for Tales of Tinseltown, which is probably my favorite of all shows for reasons I can tell you later, and look at the cast: Alison Fraser, Beth Austin, Jason Bra, Nora Mae Ling, Greg Mowry, who was the star of Starlight Express. But the people who auditioned for that included such newcomers as J.K. Simmons, Faith Prince, Victoria Clark, Rebecca Luker. But of course, I was there when Rebecca Luker first came to New York because she got her start at the New Amsterdam Theater Company when she wasn't even equity. And it was very exciting seeing these people. And Kristin Chenoweth talked to me about having lost a role in a regional production of Whoopi and wondering why she wasn't getting cast. And I got a long distance phone call from Nathan Lane. He was doing the master class and was afraid he wasn't going to work anymore. This shows how old I am at that stage.
That's really amazing when you really think about it, isn't it?
And what's also amazing is I've seen people so talented that, again, it's luck. Some people I was born were going to be stars, and circumstances just didn't work out for them. And I don't even want to go into that. But yeah, here's
this collage.
Yeah, my champion Sylvia Sims was there, and you see Jeannie Lehman and Jacobot waving from Mrs. McThing, and from Tales of Tinseltown, there's Jason Bra, and casting director Mark Teschner, who went on to win all kinds of Emmys for General Hospital, and my collaborator Paul Katz, and then you see my collaborator Jerry Marco in the Charlotte Sweet Company, which has two people who did the same role: Merle Louise, who's done more roles in Sondheim and created more great roles than anyone I know, and Virginia Seidel, who also played the role in Polly Penn, who went on to be a notable writer. And then you see my North Atlantic on the right with Lori Tanchin and Susan Bigelow. And in the middle is Maurice Levine, who was the founder of Lyrics and Lyricists at the Y, and who became a great friend and who said the bracha at my wedding. And there's Nina Trevins, who was the head, who founded Tada, and her mother. Francine Trevins is one of my great champions early on. She was also the first publicist for Torch Trilogy and helped get that on the map. So it was great company I was in on all these shows.
I would say so, at least. Yes.
And this was me getting my training to do Rogers and to do Charlotte Sweet, Gilbert and Sullivan. I played the Mikado in sixth grade, and the woman who was my drama teacher, Sheila Rubel, also directed me in a Hebrew school in which I played in the Purim spiel, singing Mordecai, in which I sang to Gilbert and Sullivan, "A wandering Jew am I." And anyway, years later, I worked with Sheila Rubel in a show of mine. You may be able to show that picture later, but we'll catch up when the picture comes. Oh, there she is. Yes, she did my Yiddish show from the ridiculous to sublime, from Christmas to a Yiddish show. That's Gordon Stanley, Broadway veteran, and Sheila Rubel doing a workshop of well, we called it Mr. America, and we won a True Award, but now it's called First Family of Second Avenue. And that's supposed to have a presentation sometime in June or July. And good old Mrs. Rubel gave me her script, her master script of the Mikado, before she passed away.
That is incredible. This is Slay, huh? The cast.
Yes. And if the person on the right looks familiar, it's because it is Barry Williams. And we had
yes, Greg Brady.
Yes. It was a very Brady October. And that was my spoof of the Betty Davis, Joan Crawford horror movies that I called Grand Dame Guignol. And that sprang out of something that I did not get. When Gypsy was first produced, a number of writers like Cy Coleman and Carolyn Lee auditioned songs, and they didn't get it, but the songs that they wrote were Witchcrafts, which became a standard, and they wrote Dimples and To Be a Performer, which we used later in Little Me. And we didn't get Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, but I wrote a whole original musical, and this has been done in London. It's been done twice here. The last time we did it, Tom Wopat played the Barry Williams role, and we had a great cast. That's Virginia Sanders played the young Phyllis to Alexis Smith in Follies, and Louisa Flaningham, and Janet Metz, and just everyone I love is in these pictures. And I so many details, but a show that, I can say I collaborated with Riskin and Kaufman on Animal Crackers. And to an extent, I can say I collaborated with Richard Rogers on a Broadway show, because when a revival of The Boys from Syracuse was done by Roundabout, I wrote Ted Chapin of Rogers' office, saying they were going to interpolate a song from called "A Lady Must Live," which had a lyric about Amy McPherson. And I said, how do you justify Amy McPherson being in ancient Greece? So I said a lyric about Medusa. And when I went to see Boys from Syracuse, there was a lyric about Medusa. Wow. So I can possibly claim I collaborated with Richard Rogers on Broadway. Another almost was an agent of mine, Charles Hunt, set me up with Lucy Simon, proposing that we work together on a musical version of The Secret Garden. And we worked a little bit on it, didn't work out. Perhaps I wasn't the right sex, but the musical did get legs when she wrote it with Marcia Norman. But these are my notes on The Secret Garden when I was working with Lucy Simon.
Incredible to see this. It's so rare to be able to see these things.
Yeah, and this is Delphi or Bus, and I did that at Almas, and I sold my comic book collection to pay for it.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. A very valuable one. And read an article later that something like my collection was sold for $100,000, which I did not sell it for.
Oh, no.
And we got nice write-ups in places like the Village Voice, but just like one review can kill you, the New York Times, and I will say her name because this is one of the critics I never hoped to run into, a woman named Anita Gates, just wrote it off. And she said, why would anyone do this sort of thing? And we got excellent reviews otherwise, and everyone loved doing it. And just another show that got away. So close. I've been Sisyphus so many times going up there. And, but each time, these are family. Oh, They Chose Me, the musical I told you about adoption. And this is a song, it's called Carl's Song, but it's two moms. And one day I'll show you a clip of me singing that. It's just a very funny and very touching song about gay adoption. And we had a little trouble in certain places. They didn't want us to include that song. And all I have to say is the gay parents I know who have adopted children are some of the best parents I've ever seen. And I see other regular parents breaking up all the time. And my family, I mean, I came from a very tumultuous family. And so I was very proud of that song. And I was very proud of Tales of Tinseltown, too. What happened there was Mrs. McThing beat out all kinds of competition at the Goodspeed Opera House for their first year of the Norma Terrace, a new theater expressly for the development of new musicals. And my director, Charlotte Sweet, Ed Stone, and I were all set to do it, and my choreographer, Dennis Dennehy. And then a fluke happened. The first show was Harrigan and Hart, and Tommy Walsh, the Tony winner, was supposed to do that. He dropped out to do another show. So Ed was called in to do Harrigan and Hart, and he became preoccupied with that. And there was a lot of tension going on. And despite all of that, Mrs. McThing, when it first opened, the early reviews said it was in better shape and was going to be the next Annie. But the head of the theater had fired our leading lady, a really excellent actress. I don't know why they fired her, but the problem was the variety for critic, the critic for Variety was a huge.
Not so easy to say, is it? Can I
was
buy a vowel?
The critic for Variety,
Yeah,
a huge fan of this leading lady, and he wrote a terrible review. And
that's all it takes.
that was the end of Mrs. McThing until I did it recently. But out of that, to recover, I wrote a musical about art and recovering from setbacks. And instead of the Goodspeed Opera House, I set it in Hollywood, Babylon. And it was Tales of Tinseltown, which is my favorite of all my musicals, which I wrote with Paul Katz. And it's a very—
That is your personal favorite.
Yeah, it's a very touching show. I mean, it ends in a way that's like She Loves Me, where the two characters who were meant for each other, originally played by Jason Gra and Beth Austin, they meet, except that rather than meeting at the shop around the corner and deciding they're meant for each other, they meet at the Hollywood sign where they're both about to jump. And they both decide, no, it's not worth it. We have each other. We'll go someplace else and make a good life for us. We'll go to Broadway. So that was my O. Henry ending. I was crying and laughing at the same time. Oh, you're allowed to show. There's my appearance on the marvelous Mrs. Maisel next to Rachel Brosnahan and Alex Borstein. And that was people are more impressed by this picture than anything else I've done in my life.
That's it. Yes. Tell us about the actual scene for those who may not have seen this.
Okay. The scene is the opening night for Jane Lynch as a character who's a comedian who wants to be a Broadway performer. And so she gets cast in Miss Julie, and somehow they finagle it so that the theater that was supposed to open, Camelot, gets displaced, and you see Julie Andrews in Camelot having Andrews crossed out and replaced by Miss Julie. And the irony is, not only was I at the opening night of Miss Julie on TV, but my grandmother Mary took me to the opening night of Camelot.
Wow.
And on that same episode, there were all those coincidences, like
That's right.
at the wedding they start the scene by playing a Rodgers and Hart song, "I Could Write a Book," which I did, and which I was a researcher for Dorothy Hart's book on Lorenz Hart. Then somebody yells, "There's Harvey," like in Mary Chase. They were referring to James Stewart, who in Tales of Tinseltown I call my most autobiographical character, Elmo, that Jason played. I call him the Jewish Jimmy Stewart. But the pièce de résistance was Midge and Susie pick up party favors. And out of nowhere, they say, "This is going to be for Grandma Mary." And that was out of the blue. This can't be happening.
Right.
It was like that through the whole show. But
Wow. Here's something else that's very special and cool.
yes.
Tell us about this.
Okay.
And Maureen is with us, watching along, commenting with her lovely comments.
And we're again doing a launch for this album on March 23rd at Don't Tell Mamas. And Maureen asked me, could she do an evening of my songs? She's done.
You mean April 23rd, right?
That's what I say.
March.
That's my brother's
They'd be a week late.
so March
I know the year's going by fast.
April 23rd.
April 23rd.
To
Yeah.
reach September. And,
Yeah.
She was so wonderful in this, and it has some of the songs that we mentioned tonight, like she sings lyrics that were never heard for Better Late Than Never, and songs from Delphi or Bust, from Charlotte Sweet, from Mrs. McThing. It's just a wonderful show, and I can't wait, and I'm so honored. And I get tears in my eyes, and anyway, thank you again, Maureen, and I can't wait to see what she does for the sequel. So
That's right, huh? How long did it take to really put this whole, production together, Cosmic Connections?
Well, it's on Brainstorm Records, and we put it together during COVID.
We did, yeah.
Yes, we took it to a studio, and
Is that a great name, Brainstorm Records?
yeah. And one of my collaborators who has songs on it, Peter Milrose, who wrote a song that Michael Feinstein sings called My Song, which Maureen sings. Anyway, Peter is a wonderful music engineer, and he put it together, and then it was further edited by my great advocate, Jeffrey Lesser, who was the producer of Tales of Tinseltown Records, and who was the producer of Jason Robert Brown and Kristen Chenoweth and Barbara Streisand. And somehow he finds time for me. I don't understand it.
Well, I tell you, and again, Dangerous is exciting. Dangerous is coming up too.
Right.
If people want to learn more about that and everything else, where can they go, my friend?
Well, it has a website.
Yeah.
There will be forthcoming announcements, and it's a combination Hitchcockian crime story on the brink of World War II, with a gangster and with a swing score, and all kinds of nefarious characters and twists and turns, and you don't know who's doing what to whom, and it's international detectives looking for a serial killer that somehow tied into what's going on in Germany, and it all works out beautifully and melodically, thanks to John C. Introcaso and the wonderful dances of Dennis Jones and musical accompaniments of Phil Reno, who also did Slate with Music for me.
Mm.
Such shows as Something Rotten on Broadway and the producers.
Why do you love so much all this work and everything that you're involved in and have been involved in? Why does it bring you and continue to bring you such great blessing and joy, Michael?
Well, I could never do sports. I wasn't that good in school, but I could always write poetry. And another thing I'm planning to do at the sometime next December at the Winter Rhythm series is an evening of story songs by me. I've written a series, and some of them you can see on like the story about gun violence. It's a wonderful video that was done by Joan Barber, and another one of my great composers, Joseph Falcon, composed it. And it's called That She Could Write. And it seems to be going in one direction, and then it goes on a whole different tangent. And you think it's a testimony to a wonderful girl, and you find out it's something else. And it's very dramatic, and that's one of those songs I want to include. I have a bunch of these songs.
That's fantastic. You know who's here with us tonight? Mr. George Burns here to greet you once again.
I was a big fan of yours and Gracie's.
Yes.
Good night, Gracie. Do you know that when we did Mrs. McThing, the man who played George Burns, Frank Gorshin.
No, Frank Gorshin, yeah.
What?
You know, was he the Riddler in Batman? What was it? The Riddler in Batman, right?
His agent was after me to cast him in Mrs. McThing, but we went with Ray Gill, who was the original bully in Driving Miss Daisy. And, so how are you, George?
He's doing very well, and he said
he might have lived to 105 if he didn't smoke.
That's it. And there's his cigar. But yeah, he made it to 100 and he played God. So I guess not too shabby, but he said you knocked it out of the park tonight, and it was good seeing you and spreading the sunshine and all the beautiful work. Sherry says, thank you for sharing your life and career with us, Michael, with a list of accomplishments. And what a list of accomplishments. Good luck at all you do in the future. She's in Kansas, and Kathleen in New York City says, thank you for being here with us, Michael, as well. Maureen says, you are a gem. Thank you very, very much, Maureen. And we'll see Maureen on Friday.
Nothing else. I hope that I serve as an example that you might not make the big time that you thought you would, but there's so much reward, so much gratification in doing what you love to do.
Yes.
And, helping people through your work.
So beautifully said. So absolutely beautifully said. And that's the moral of this story. That's what it's all about. That's what, you know, and with kindness and empathy and respect and civility and dignity and lots of levity, of course, all those things that, you know, you really have to do to keep the earth spinning on its axis in a beautiful and profound way, as we all try to do individually and collectively. A blessing to have you on the show once again, my friend. Always terrific. We'll keep that porch light on for you, and you're always welcome back, and continue to spread the word about the Jim Master Show Live series. We would love that.
Like I wouldn't miss April 1st when Maureen Taylor, my wonderful muse and singer of Cosmic Connections, will be your special guest.
That's right, exactly. And in between, Bill Plimpton is going to be with us, the renowned cartoonist, animator, filmmaker, and graphic designer. Is going to be with us tomorrow. And if folks have not seen the episode we did with the one and only Marion Ross, you know, from Happy Days, Mrs. C, and so much more, check that episode out here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Really cool to have you with us, my friend. Continued blessings and joy coming your way. Hopefully we'll see each other soon in the city and break bread now that things are coming back with a vengeance in a good way, and continue making the art and making the magic.
Thank you. That's one of my songs, How Do You Make Magic? And
That's it.
You have done wonders for me tonight. Thank you.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I certainly have with you once again, Michael.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You take care. Keep watching, because I know you're a Lovity viewer too, right?
North Atlantic.
Oh, yes. Tell us the room you're in.
Bells of Tinseltown, Charlotte Sweet. And my 50th birthday was Quel Fromage, 50 years of Colby.
50 years of Colby, I tell you. That went by in a New York minute, didn't it? Well, I know you're a Lovity viewer and you enjoy watching and supporting our series as much as you are a fantastic guest, my friend. So thanks so much for, being on both ends, the viewer, Lovity viewer, and wonderful guest. And Jim, thank you for providing a platform of completeness of heart and accomplishments that your guests can reveal of themselves and share with the world. Thank you, Rini, from the Midlands of Flushing, Queens. I really, really appreciate that so much. That's everything. Waking up every day to a life you love. That's fulfilling. It sure is, Maureen. Now, Maureen is also a Lovity. And Rini says, congratulations, Michael. And Mary Bishop in Florida. Wonderful show. Thanks, Michael and Jim. Thank you. And Maureen says, wonderful show. Thank you, Jim and Michael. The pleasure is all ours, Maureen, and we'll see you coming up on Friday as well. You be well, my friend. You take care. And thanks for joining us on this episode of the Jim Masters Show. It was wonderful.
Till next time.
Till next time. We'll keep that porch light on for you. You take care.
Night.
Bye-bye. Cheers. The incredible Michael Colby. This is a return visit for him as well on the Jim Masters Show Live. Another breathtaking episode. Lots of fun. So many stories, so many photos, great music as well. Lots of special treats. Again, so many shows he's had an opportunity to be a part of, so many productions and projects, and so much more coming up as well. Very excited about having the opportunity to share it with you, and stopping by the Jim Masters Show Live entertainment lifestyle talk show series once again to update us on some of the wonderful things that he's been sharing. I think it's almost, coming up the end of April, it'll be 2 years that our show's been on and over 600 episodes. So I think it's almost a year and a half ago plus since he's been here. So lots of great updates, and so wonderful to have him here. As I mentioned, the extraordinary and renowned cartoonist, animator, filmmaker, graphic designer. He has so many visuals to show us, and videos and new designs and specials and all kinds of great things. Bill Plimpton, the one and only, is going to be with us tomorrow live, a very special episode, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And again, if you didn't see the episode where actress and author Mrs. C on Happy Days, the one and only Marion Ross, was with us here on the Jim Masters Show Live exclusively, check that episode out on our YouTube channel, as well as the amazing Kreskin, who was with us, and Christine Oldman from the Saturday Night Live Band was with us recently, as well as, Anson Williams was here, the Pointer Sisters were here, and countless more extraordinary guests from literally all backgrounds, all walks of life. We appreciate Michael joining us live and direct from New Jersey, USA. You are watching the Jim Masters Show Live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. Check us out daily live. And if you miss any of the episodes, you can see them all in the archives. All the episodes archived on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and show it some lovity. There's no cost for that. That is absolutely free to do. Click the red button you see there and click that notification bell so you never miss any of our episodes. And don't forget to give us a like as well. There's a thumbs up icon on the YouTube channel underneath this episode. Give us a like and also leave a comment for us as well. We love having all of you here. Jen Berry says, fun show tonight. Thank you very much, Jen. Good to see you as well. So many more episodes, so many extraordinary guests. Monday, Glenn Scarpelli is going to be here as well. We also have coming up Cousins Gibb. Yes, they are the cousins of the Bee Gees, of the Gibbs, and they're coming up very soon, in about a week. We are very excited about that. Paul Green, from all the Hallmark movies, my buddy's coming in just a couple of weeks from now, and so much more. Thank you, Jim, for another fabulous show. My pleasure. We love it. Thank you, Merlin in Canada, Kathleen in New York City, Mary Bishop as well, and Christine Clifton as well with her wonderful comment. It was great Michael could join us again. Mr. Joy learning more of his projects. So very talented. His stories are always fascinating and has contributed so much and made a difference. I agree as well. Sure has. Jane watching in Sweden. Great, interesting show tonight. Thank you, Michael and Jim. Our pleasure as well. And everybody chatting. Now, if you missed the opportunity to chat in our live chat, you can leave a comment on a YouTube channel at any time. If you want to support our series, you can always do it in live chat when the shows are live with super stickers and super emojis, super thanks. We thank those of you who have done that. And also, if you do it when we're not live, you can still do that too, because there's a little heart icon on all of the episodes, and it's a thanks heart icon. And you can support that way as well. Many of you asked, how can we support what you're doing day in and day out, these extensive, elaborate productions, over 600 plus and growing, almost 650. And well, there are many different ways. And another great episode with Michael. Thanks, Jim. Juanita, thank you as well. And Nikki, this is a truly winning show, Jim. Thank you, Nikki. I love that. Maureen Taylor, wonderful show. Thank you, Jim and Michael. Thank you, Maureen, as well. And we'll see you on Friday. We're looking forward to that as well. What a wonderful platform, Jim. Thank you. And good night all to you as well, Maureen Taylor. And now you're a lovety. And thanks for subscribing to our channel as well, Maureen. This is your host, Jim Masters, thanking you, everybody watching around the world, for your time this time till next time. We don't say goodbye around here. We say see you later, cheers, ciao, shalom, slancha, Wiedersehen, sayonara, but not necessarily goodbye in its traditional form. We just say see you later, and we'll be back live with more terrific commentary, poignant conversations, great entertainment, levity, and everything we can throw at you here on our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. You guys be well, take care of one another, love one another, and we will see you on the next episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. Christine says, Jim, thanks for this wonderful show with Michael. I'm sending you my childhood pick. That's right, gang. Don't forget to email us your childhood photos. We're putting together a celebration of childhood episode of the Jim Masters Show Live, a levity episode. So don't forget to email them to us at jimmasterstv@gmail.com, jimmasterstv@gmail.com. Get those photos in. One photo is good. You don't have to send the whole photo album. Just one photo of you as a child. And we're going to showcase them on a special upcoming episode soon on the Jim Masters Show Live. So send those photos in. We've received photos from Jen and from Maureen and Juanita and Merlin and several others. And Sherry sent hers in as well. So send yours in, and we will have a good time on that episode. Of course, I'll post mine as well. Yeah, you sent it 3 times. 3rd time's a charm. We got it. Got the 3rd one today, Sherry. You guys are the best. The Lovities, the Jim Masters Show Lovities on the Jim Masters Show Live. And in the replay as well, not just live, but in the replay. Thanks for being with us. You're the very best, watching literally all around the world. We have viewers and guests that come in from the United States, where this show originates from, Canada, Mexico, all throughout North America, South America, as well as Europe, Asia, Australia. It's just extraordinary. And we love you all. Be well. Take care. We'll see you on the next episode of the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Take care and be well. This is Jim Masters. Cheers.